Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Love in the time of pregnancy. When hormones run wild, emotions hit 1,000, and secrets get messier than a midnight snack. Today on rSpace, sometimes the real bundle of joy is just the chaos that comes wrapped around it. Pregnant wife emotionally cheated on me, ran DNA test and served her. Baby's mine while her affair partner's fraud. Throwaway for reasons that'll become obvious. I, 41 male, have been with my wife, 36 female, for 9 years, married for 6 and dated for 3. We are usually the opposite attracts couple, which you could spot from a distance. I'm the quiet one, headphones always in. She was the loud one in every room. I would just smile and listen quietly, and she would grab the stage kind of thing. I don't know how I got her. She used to say the same. We're a balance. You keep me grounded. I keep you alive. Silence doesn't mean I was cold or unavailable. I took care of all of her needs, emotional, financial, and physical. When we got married in the backyard ceremony, I paid for all the extra stuff that I specially organized for her. I wanted her to have a moment she could look back on forever. She cried when she saw the lights, the band, the vows. She said, I feel so safe with you. She used the word safe all the time. I used to think it meant love. Now I think it meant boredom. We started trying for a baby 4 years ago. She was obsessed with it, more than I was, honestly. I wanted for her to be happy. We were financially and emotionally ready to undertake the responsibility. I took vitamins, gave up drinking, tracked her ovulation with apps. 2.5 years ago, she announced we were pregnant, and I was over the moon to start a family with her. I called my dad, my siblings, and even my coworkers that I was going to be a dad. 3 weeks in, and we lost the baby. The miscarriage gutted her. She spent weeks in distress. I supported her in every way I could. Cheered her up, took her out, and heard her rant until she felt better. After a gap of 6 to 7 months, she suggested we try again. Met with another round of disappointments. It nearly broke us both. I'd find her crying in the laundry room, whispering to no one. I'd wrap my arms around her, hold her until she stopped shaking. I made her understand that we are complete, even without a baby, so she could stop risking her health. She was like, let's just try. If destiny wills, we'll have one. I said, cool. Last summer, when we got pregnant again, we both kept it so discreet that we didn't even inform our parents about it until the second trimester hit. I bent over backwards for her during the pregnancy, massaged her feet every night, learned how to cook vegan because meat made her nauseous, took on extra shifts to cover her part-time leave early so she could rest. People kept telling me I was such a good husband. I wore that title like armor until I found out it was already pierced. Over the last few months, things have shifted. She's always in a foul mood, ready to pick fights and cry over trivial things. I tolerated her mood swings, thinking it was hormonal. I never fought back, not to stress her. It was a high-risk pregnancy, so I sucked up her tantrums. If I was late from work, she would suspect that I was hanging out with friends. I dare not go drinking out with friends because if she can't drink, I shouldn't either. It was my company's yearly conference and she made a huge fuss because I decided to attend it despite her asking me not to. She said it was just a fun activity and I won't miss out on anything if I don't attend. She acted miserable when I still went. Dressed up and to add to her fury, I got drunk. Not badly smashed, just a few beers, followed by 2 rounds of Jack Daniel. It wasn't intentional on my part. The annual meet was important for me professionally to bond with my managers and seniors. Honestly, I was tired of dealing with her tantrums and wanted to have that evening to de-stress and vent out with my coworkers. When I went home and she sniffed alcohol and broke 7 hells on me. Since then, she's been cold and distant. She no longer wanted to be cuddled. If I initiated, she would snap that I was selfish to lead a normal life while she had to give up on everything. I tried to talk to her using logic, but her point is she was carrying my baby and I should also make all the sacrifices she is making. I don't know who was right in this situation, but I tried my best to be a present and supportive husband. Apart from that one event, I stopped going out with my friends and coworkers. Did everything she wanted to do. Still, sometimes she would get bitter seeing me hitting the gym because she couldn't go. I know normally doctors advise an active life during pregnancy, but hers was a complicated case and she was asked to rest and cut short on her physical activity to the bare minimum. It got colder and colder. I'd touch her and she won't react. I'd ask how her day was. She'd shrug me off. Look at the hypocrisy. She would bark at me if I was late for work, but she'd stay late at work, again and again. Her reason was, I take more breaks to recharge, hence have to stay late to finish up. Once she came home smelling like men's cologne. I pointed it out and she got defensive, accused me of being controlling. She stopped kissing me, just stopped. Said didn't feel like doing it. Last Friday night, she passed out on the couch with her phone still in her hand. It buzzed. I looked. I usually don't, but this time I did. There were texts. You make me feel seen. Wish you were here. Miss your hands. Don't feel guilty. It's not cheating if your heart's already gone. Sender was someone named K. Hart. I opened the thread. There were maybe hundreds of messages spanning months. Flirty, intimate, emotional. She told him things she hadn't told me in years. That she felt dead inside with me. That I was sweet but dull. That she sometimes imagined the baby was his. Lamented about how their timing of finding each other was bad. If she wasn't pregnant, they would have planned a future together. They hadn't slept together yet, but their talks were intimate. Details about how she wanted him to do her. She sent him bump pics. Called him babe. Told him about our fights, her cravings, her dreams of a future where they could be together. I sat there, shaking. Didn't wake her. I just walked to the nursery we had painted together and sat in the rocking chair, staring at the crib. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I woke her with 3 words. Who's Kay? She looked at me like I'd just said something in another language. Then she closed her eyes and sighed. She didn't panic or show any guilt. Was just annoyed. Said, it's not what you think. I asked, tell me what I should think. She shrugged and said, because you just don't get me. You're living your normal life while I have to give up on everything for the sake of our baby. I didn't argue with her because we have had this conversation a million times, where I've had rational talks with her, asked her what exact actionables she wants from me, and the ones which I'm unable to fulfill. But these talks always lead to her meltdown about how pregnancy has been hard on her and all the sacrifices she's making to have my baby. I didn't say this to her, but she was the one who was pushing for the baby. I was okay if we didn't have one. After the second miscarriage, I even told her we can still have a happy, satisfied life without a baby. However, if I brought this up now, she would have taken it the wrong way. Hence this time, when she repeated the same stuff, I didn't defend. I told her if she's not content with me, then it's not worth spending a day together. And also, I would want a DNA test. She went pale and screamed, you saw the chats. You know I didn't cheat on you. I started talking to him during the pregnancy when you deprived me emotionally. I said I don't care about the timelines. I want the test, else I won't have anything to do with your pregnancy. She acted horrified at my demand, said I was overreacting. That it's just texting and she didn't even kiss him. I snapped, you planned your life with another man while I was putting together the crib. She didn't answer, just cried and begged, then flipped and called me paranoid, controlling, heartless. Said I was stressing out the baby. I gave her a choice. Either get a test and prove the paternity, I'll support the baby, else be ready to cut off completely. She can't expect me to bow down and raise someone else's child. I moved to the guest room, heard her crying and wailing for the first time in months. I didn't go comfort her. 2 days went by, and she still showed no signs of taking the tests. Maybe she thought that with time, I'll cool off and forget. I reminded her about it, and she started her act all over again. I gave her an ultimatum till yesterday. Else I'll seek legal help using her chats to back my case. She was astonished that I had collected the evidence against her. She doesn't know I'm recording every conversation we are having, just in case. Ultimately, she took an appointment, and we drove yesterday to give the sample. The report is due in a week, and I'm not sure what I want. I mean, if the baby is not mine, then it's a straight path. I cut her off, and the chapter is closed, but the problem will arise if the baby is mine. I certainly cannot stay married to her knowing that she cheated. Emotionally, physically, whatever. How would I raise a child with a divorced partner? Won't it make things complicated, especially when the baby is an infant? I don't want to abandon my child. Any advice on how I should proceed? Any heads up from someone who has gone through this? Update 1. Hey everyone. Thanks to everyone who messaged and dropped comments. I read all of them, even if I didn't reply. I wasn't in the headspace to engage, but I truly appreciate the clarity many of you offered. I promised to come back after the DNA results, so here we are. I'll get straight to it. The baby is mine. I stared at the results PDF for a good 10 minutes before I could move. I don't know what I wanted to say, honestly. A part of me hoped it wasn't mine just to make the decision cleaner. I know how crappy that sounds, but when someone else destroys your trust like that, You start hoping for a way out that doesn't come with a lifelong emotional leash. So now that I know the baby is biologically mine, one thing is clear. I'm stepping up as a father. I won't abandon my kid. That's not even on the table, but the marriage is over. When I told her the results, she sighed. Told you I'm not a cheater. Tried to hug me and said, let's start fresh. We'll be a happy family. I blocked her away and said, I know the baby's mine. That's the only reason I'm still here. Not for you. She asked what I mean. I clarified that I would fulfill all my fatherly duties, but we cannot remain married. She started crying again. Not the kind of crying that comes from remorse. It was frustration, like a child being told no for the first time in her life. She tried guilt-tripping me, saying I was punishing her for being vulnerable during the hardest phase of her life. Said, I'm paying the price for something I never did. Now I feel it was better if I had slept with him. At least I would have been happier. She got so bitter and toxic and went so far to say that she wished the baby was affair partners so they could live a happy life together. It was evident from her words that she had zero remorse about the cheating. I walked out and lawyered up my case. I've already spoken to one. We were just waiting for the report to plan the best course of action. I'm working out a separation plan that gives me joint custody. If not immediately, then after 3 years. She doesn't know that yet, but she will soon. Her parents are still clueless. She tried to ask me not to tell anyone. Let's keep this between us for the baby's sake. I told her point blank, you don't get to control the narrative anymore. However, I kept things quiet out of respect for the pregnancy and the stress it could cause to the baby. Right now, I'm still sleeping in the guest room. The tension in the house is thick. I barely make eye contact with her. I'll move out once custody arrangements are secured. I don't trust her not to screw me over if I leave too soon. She has my baby, and one wrong move and she'll deprive me of my daughter. Yeah, it's a girl. For life. So I'm here sucking it up for my unborn as per my lawyer's advice. Let's see what happens once she's served. No matter what, I'll be a father. A dang good one. What she did was messed up. You were there through all the hard stuff. Miscarriages, mood swings, crazy sacrifices, and she was texting some other guy behind your back, talking about how dead she felt inside with you while planning a future with him. That's a massive betrayal. Now she's trying to guilt trip you and act like you're the bad guy for asking for a DNA test? After all this, you're right to demand it. Update 2. Hey again. Back with an update I've been dying to post for a while. She's served. It happened 2 days ago. I had it delivered to her at home while I was at work. My lawyer said it would be safer if I wasn't present when she got it. Less chance of her trying to weaponize it emotionally in the moment, especially with the pregnancy angle. I agreed. According to the process server, she opened the door all cheery, probably thought it was a package. Then she saw the envelope. Her smile dropped. She slammed the door without saying a word. I came home that evening and she was waiting, eyes red, pacing the living room like a caged animal. Are you serious right now? You're really ending our marriage when I'm 7 months pregnant? You're doing this to your daughter? It was all a victim play with zero remorse. I told her flatly, I'm doing this because of what you did to me. I won't stay with a person who would run to others if she has problems with me. She called me spineless, said I was ruining our daughter's life because of a few texts. Let me make this clear. It was never just about a few texts. She was planning an emotional exit with another man while I was slogging my butt off for our future. And you know what? During one of the fights, she admitted she had met him twice at his place. She swore it was innocent, just coffee and talks. First was when I went for my company's annual meet, and the next was a few months back when I was late from work. But she never told me. She never mentioned it once. Why? Because she knew exactly what she was doing. The new information only solidified my decision. She was like, What? I won't have sex with another man with my baby inside. Who knew what she can do? If she can have sex talks, then she definitely can have the real one. That dirty witch won't even think about baby's safety when it comes to her lust. Even after all this, she had the audacity to threaten me. Said, You want to play games? Fine. Let's see who the court sides with when I tell them you tried to abandon your pregnant wife. I didn't back down. I said, Try me. I'm not the one who built a fantasy life with someone who behind my spouse's back. She helplessly involved her parents into this, who called me enraged that I was sabotaging her pregnancy. She told them that I was jealous that she was texting a male friend and I was divorcing her over this trivial issue, and that I also tortured her for the DNA test. I was shocked at their sudden outburst, but it was a blessing for me. I got the chance to play my card. I exposed her cheating, showed them the intimate texts she had with a affair partner where she had described her wildest sexual thoughts, where she had told she wished she wasn't pregnant with my baby so that they could be together, where she regretted her pregnancy timings. After seeing the evidence, her mother called me again, apologizing that she had no idea what their daughter was into and didn't realize it was that bad. Her parents called her and lashed out, and in return, she was furious at me for dragging her name through the mud. I laughed hard at her face. Look who's talking. I'm not playing the villain in her pity story. Right now, she's desperate to get people back on her side. She posted some vague, sad Instagram story with baby bump, soft filter, Lana Del Rey lyrics. Comments were full of sympathy. I didn't reply, didn't out her publicly yet, but if she tries to use our daughter as leverage or spin some sob story in court, the game is on. Update 3. Hey folks, back with another update. A lot's happened. She gave birth last week, a beautiful baby girl, and yes, I was there. Let me be clear, I was there for my daughter, not for her. I was being called out in my previous updates for living in the same house. People said I should have moved out immediately. Are you guys for real? You want to abandon the woman carrying my child? Yes, she cheated and we are separating. I'm not letting an innocent soul suffer because of her mother. Knowing that it's a pretty risky pregnancy, I have to be cautious. When her dude was near, I started working from home, in case I was needed in an emergency. Her labor started in the middle of the night. She knocked on my door around 3 a.m. saying her water broke. I didn't panic. I had a go bag ready. Grabbed her car keys, helped her into the vehicle, drove her to the hospital. I did everything I needed to do. I was calm, focused, and silent. Didn't speak unless necessary. She was in labor for 12 hours. I stayed in the room, not because she asked me to, she didn't, but because I want to be there for every second of my child's life. From the beginning. The nurse asked if I wanted to hold her first, and I said yes without blinking. The moment she was in my arms, all the noise faded. She looked up at me with those huge eyes, and suddenly, none of the betrayal mattered for that moment. I had one job now, be the dad she deserves. My wife, or soon-to-be ex, was watching me with some twisted look I couldn't decode. She didn't say much right then, was probably waiting for her movie moment where giving birth would magically erase everything, where I'd see our daughter and run back into her arms, overwhelmed with family love. Nope, that's not happening. A few hours later, she tried making conversation. Said stuff like, "Isn't she perfect? Just like us. We made this. Maybe we still have a chance. You can't tell me this doesn't change anything." Tried guilt-tripping me again. Said she needed me more now than ever. That she was scared to raise a child alone. I reminded her, "You weren't scared texting that guy when you were carrying her." That shut her up. The next day, I went home, packed my stuff, and moved to a new apartment 2 blocks away. I'd already set up that place and was ready to move out once the baby was here. I did as per the lawyer's plan. Took a place nearer to her so I could be a part of my baby's life. I know she won't make it easy, but I would fight for it. While she breastfeeds, I'll have visitation rights. My lawyer promised to make that 50-50 in later years. A couple things more happened. Affair partner's wife is divorcing him. Yes, he was a married man with 4-year-old son. Soon-to-be ex had met him on a dating app, and he lied that he was single. Even when he invited her to his place, it wasn't his apartment, but his friend's. Guess who broke the racket? My lawyer. To get more concrete evidence of the cheating, my lawyer used his secret agent's help to follow soon-to-be ex and found that she was still seeing him even after I discovered her. The PI saw affair partner leaving that place soon after she left, and when he followed him, the truth was uncovered. I laughed so hard on hearing this. What's better than a cheating wife getting scammed? I collected the evidence shared by the PI and couried it to the affair partner's wife, along with the details of what her husband is up to. In the next hearing, my lawyer presented the evidence to help me save the alimony on the basis of alienation of affection. Soon-to-be ex got some kind of panic attack over it. She had no idea that the guy was a liar, and when he was uncovered, he ghosted her. Now she's been telling mutuals I'm emotionally abusive, that I left her during her weakest moment. A few flying monkeys tried texting me. I hit them with cold facts and screenshots. One even apologized to me for falling for soon-to-be ex's tears. Another blocked me. Guess some people just want a sob story to root for. Soon-to-be ex tried using the baby already. Told me, "If you keep treating me like this, don't expect to be part of her first birthday." I replied, "We'll let the court decide that, sweetheart." She's not used to being cornered. For years, I absorbed every meltdown, every manipulation, every tantrum. Now I've got boundaries and she hates it. She's realizing she doesn't get to keep the house, the marriage, and the sympathy card after cheating her way through pregnancy. I've made it clear. I'm here for my daughter. I'll pay for her needs. I'll show up. I'll love every second of her life. But soon-to-be ex doesn't exist to me beyond the role of my child's mother. That's it. I've already talked to HR at my job and arranged paternity leave if I manage to get custody days. My folks are helping me set up a routine. Her dad even dropped by once to deliver the crib in person. We didn't say much, but he patted my shoulder and said, "You're doing right by her. Don't fold now." So yeah, that's it. I'm holding up for my daughter. We'll update if anything new happens. Dragging her parents into this and using their sympathy as armor only backfired once they saw the evidence. And the fact that she's furious at you for exposing the truth is rich. She's the one who dug this hole. Your actions, staying for the baby, moving out when the time came, setting boundaries, show you're the only grown-up here. She lost any right to sympathy when she chose to live a double life. What do you think? What would you do? And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Until next time.